We're back. First video back in a while. Plugin dropped. Plugin dropped a while ago, sorry. But I'm back home with power. Hurricane came through. Milton's coming through Florida, but pray for that. There's some craziness in North Carolina. There's some craziness in Florida. Y'all keep those people in your prayers. It is getting weird out there. But I could do a whole nother channel on all that stuff. But we are here. Got a little yogurt over there. Are for redemption. So this is this the first video I've done with a new deck, like all new inheritance? It might be. I've been posting decks on Discord, mixing and matching. So you'll see different types of ways to play the inheritance defenses. You can play the offenses differently. They're not huge changes. Most of it is what cards are you focusing on for each offense. The defenses can mix and match because they do a couple things really well, and there's already cards existing in their theme. So what old cards can you take, and what new cards can you take, and what do you focus on? It's like, for example, with Edomites, are you using animals? Are you going all out banish? Are you trying to get that banish pile huge and go more by the numbers? Are you trying to play first and really put them in weird situations where the opponent has to respond to your special initiative and all sorts of stuff? So we'll go through it. I'm most excited about Canaanites. I think they are the strongest. So I wanted to show how Joshua is Joshua. So when I designed Inheritance, I like designing off 3 different offenses in 3 different ways. Kind of the Johnny Tim Spike, but one of these offenses, Joshua, are how, and me too, how people like to play Redemption. It's just banding, drawing, stop my numbers. Like, can you stop what I'm trying to do? I'll give you initiative, and I'll try to limit what you can do in my band or with cards outside of the band, or dominant. So really right now with Joshua, it is a big band with a focus on teaching in parables, promised land, and then dominance. So take a couple of your best defensive cards that can stop Joshua, the band, and then just blow them up with dominance as soon as you can. So use that same thought process. Although maybe you don't need this many enhancements. Some people will say you don't. Like I've seen Tim and Josh say, a different Tim, Baboony Tim, not the deck theory that I used. That'll say you just need a few enhancements, maybe 3 to 5, but this is one too many. Just preference. This is a 50 card deck. It's 51. Maybe one can come out. This is a 51 card deck. I use a bigger defense because, in my opinion, this offense punches through a lot of things, and if you know how to play it, it can get around most every defense. But when you use the defense correctly, or the offense correctly, and the dominance, you should be able to rescue 5. And you can do that with this amount of cards. I'm not running a ton of support cards. I don't feel like you need to right now. Having those extra slots to defense is big, especially when Joshua is trying to take away your defense. If I can get more defense in and get those blocks and still have a fast offense, I feel good. I have 2 add to battles here. I have 3, I'm sorry. So Sheol, Deceitful Possessions, and Murderous Command on defense. And on offense, I have Angel of God, Long Day, and Deceitful Possessions for Rahab. So I have 3 add to battles on offense, 3 add to battles on defense. Um, the defense is very much exchange and ban and bounce and take and reserve. It's really fun to play. I like when I'm designing any sort of theme or set, I like interaction where opponent has decisions and I have decisions. But when I say interaction, I just mean movements as well. So what can a card do? Can you flip a card certain ways? Can you how do you bounce it? Can I give it? Can I take it? Where does that card move and why? I'm really doing a lot of that lately. I don't want to get too. I'm not going to get too into design, and I'm not going to do too much of the moving around of cards. But I think it's really fun if I get to move my own cards around and I get some sort of benefit, or I stop you, or whatever it might be. So I think that's a lot of fun. That creates interaction and movement within the game. Instead of me just holding my hand here, taking a thing from reserve, flipping an artifact, and then pushing into battle, I'm actually moving around things. I like that type of interaction. Um, it makes the game, even though it's still simple, it adds a layer to it of just movement where I get to do things. I think it's more enjoying to watch as well and play. So this deck really encapsulates that. It's Joshua. They got some exchanging and banding, but they also can take from their deck. They could take from the opponents. They can look at their hand. They can take from their hand. They can take from the territory. Canaanites are constantly the bouncing and giving and taking, going to exchanging, reserve, and deck. And then I have my add to battles. So it's really strong and a lot of fun to play. So I posted these decks on Discord. How do they work? We'll start with Joshua because it's kind of been out there. People have been using it. I'm seeing people balk at the defenses. I don't fully know how to use them yet. So I'm going to show kind of like here's a primarily Canaanite defense. Here's a primarily Moabite. Here's a primarily Edomite using the new set and what it does. So we'll start with the Joshua theme. Took the Angels from II. Of course, we have Captain of the Host. The same Captain of the Host. We went back and forth. I've talked about him before, design-wise. We went back and forth on... I was trying to make another, and honestly, he was very similar to Abishai. He was actually granting a double band. But it was a lot of words, and then we weren't sure about who he should ban to, and then it was like, I don't even want to use... I'm trying to make him stronger than the other guy. And Gabe was like, just make the other guy then. So we made him. I voted him as an ultra rare. And he looks awesome. And it also helps because some ultra rares, they can be expensive. Joshua being what I envisioned the most popular theme. We wanted people to not have to chase for an ultra rare for a theme to where you can't even use the theme now because you got to wait to get that ultra rare, or you immediately have to pay an extra $60 to $80 just to play the offense. So you can use your old one, your POC one. That's still expensive. Lord's Army is amazing. Getting that protection from Lost Souls is huge, especially right now. You'll see that in defenses you play soon. There's a lot of just chump blocks because Nativity has, if they don't get that Guardians from Glory out, they have a tough time. If Joshua doesn't have Lord's Army in, they have a tough time. So you got to have a hero that protects Lost Souls from evil cards, restricting evil doms. Really nice. You're going to see a couple more characters like this with big numbers that just do something really good. And it's very simple. I actually made one last night. So we have our 3 angels, the linchpin, the connector, Captain of the Host. Being able to draw, you should be able to get a draw 2 on turn 1. It's very, very common to get a draw 3 turn 1. Getting the negate turn 1 might not really matter. Still can, just depends on if you go second. And if you go second, you should get the whole draw 3. And then, so turn 1, this is always going to be a draw 1, negate, and a potential band. And he can band all the angels. So Captain can go to Victorious Being, and Victorious Being can go to Joshua. Victorious Being could also go to Captain. So it's not bad. And worst case, you can do a band to Captain, and he can go to Victorious Being, and you can just get a draw 1. Or if you lose Captain or Joshua, Victorious Being can get him back. So Lord's Army comes at the end of the ban, especially with you have some hand look going on in Joshua. Lord's Army is really good to know when to use it, when you need to protect lost souls and restrict noms. Then we have Spies at I. So take a good OT Fortress from a deck. This is game changing for the mirror. There's GOC decks that started using double hand protection, so if you could take their storehouse. But if you can just snag their own promised land, that's crazy. Like, that's really, really good. This allows you to take your own good OT Fortress, or allows you to take theirs. And then you get to reveal the opponent's hand. And then, so you get their best fortress if it's Old Testament from their deck, or you get out one of your 2 fortresses, then you get a hand look. So you get 2 things, and then if their hand, you get the Punisher. So if X is at least 3, you may take an evil card except a dominant. So if they're playing evil brigades, you further punish them, and now you get 3 abilities on a card, which we're not really seeing much of anymore, except for Captain. So Joshua's Officiators. I don't have Joshua's Sword in deck, because Joshua's Officiators, if I get him first, he equips Sword to himself, and I don't have a way to bounce in this deck. So I'm not really sure, like, if that's needed. I don't know. But I like it because if Joshua's in play, you get to take a fortress. Turn 1, I have multiple ways to Joshua, so I really want this guy kind of turn 2, and I want to be able to take their fortresses turn 2. So I have either a way up front to, and if they don't have a good OT Fortress in their deck for Spies at I can just still get a deck look. And then if I take a good OT Fortress from their deck, but they still have like a Bethlehem Stable or something, or a Herod's Temple, then I know I can go to Joshua's Officiators and take it as well. So I get 1 of 2 really good options, and then I can ban to a Joshua Human. Still don't know if he needs to be main deck. I'm still feeling it out, but he could be reserve. Regardless, being able to just take a fortress and ban to a Joshua Human is crazy. Stone Carrier is one of my favorite cards. Being able to negate a neutral card. And then, if blocked, so you get to wait, you may exchange this card with a unique Joshua hero from deck or reserve. And I don't have anyone in reserve yet for him. I really maximized it with Canaanite stuff. So maybe an enhancement comes out. There's still some tweaking to do. But as of now, Stone Carriers is an absolute beast. It doesn't really matter. Joshua the Commander is awesome. I love all the art. For the most part, a lot of it looks all to match. Just within theme, so I really like that. Joshua Commander, take a Joshua card from reserve. We have 4. We're good there. Maybe if you're not getting everything out of Joshua, out of your reserve with a Joshua offense, might want to look into that. They should rip through their reserve. Then you get the ban to a Joshua hero, and you get your CB or ROP enhancements. Really good. They really punch Herods in the mouth, and Emperors and stuff like that. So Caleb the Rewarded may ban to a Joshua warrior or draw 2. He's good to start with the band or end the band. You start with the band. Joshua heroes cannot be prevented. you end the ban. They do all their abilities, and then he grants CBP for Joshua Heroes, and then and you get the draw 2 at the end. He's just really good regardless. And his ability used to be on Officiators, I think. Something. He used to have a different ability, and it was like, makes more sense to just have Caleb grant CBP. Rahab. I like Rahab. There's another version of Joshua that plays the white Rahab, Lost Child Found, Shrine, Joshua's Covenant, which I don't have Joshua's Covenant in here. That's an oversight. Probably should have that in here. But what you do with that offense is you play Faith of Joshua with your 2 Tabernacle Joshua Heroes. You play Lost Child Found, Shrine of Artemis, Joshua's Covenant, and what you do is you bounce. And you could play Tabernacle too. I just think you're starting to get to a lot more support cards, and this doesn't really need it. I keep the brigades focused, condensed. The offense focused and the brigades condensed, which I think is really good right now. And what I like to do is just simply punch in the mouse, set up my offense, and keep moving. The other one uses White Rahab, Faith of Joshua, Tabernacle Priests, and Faith of Joshua. I think I said that. And what you're doing is you're doing Shrine, Joshua's Covenant, and you're bouncing Promised Land, playing it again. So you're getting 2 Promised Land triggers. You can Tabernacle, so you can constantly do that. And you can Shrine of Artemis, your Promised Land, and Joshua's Covenant back out. It's really cool. I feel like that's a 2019 type 2 offense though, where it starts setting up, and then once it does, it's like game over. You're gonna get 2 triggers on Promised Land every turn and hit them with Teaching in Parables. Like, that's really, really good. And you can go that whole route. You can go Exiles, Coming Prince, Teaching in Parables, Promised Land, and Soulhide or Moabites, probably Moabites, and just reuse Exiles and Teaching in Parables. You can keep doing that. I think that's a really cool way to play. I don't think you need it for this offense. The dominants are too strong. I love Rahab. You get the add to battle with a draw 2, with a recursion and a playability of a negate and evil enhancement. Very, very strong. And then Bears, being able to activate Deceitful Possessions. That used to be Joshua Artifact from deck or discard pile. That got a little too crazy. But I like Bears of the Ark. I'm still not sold yet, but negating artifacts in battle is really good, especially when I can negate artifacts and just activate my add to battle. That's really solid, especially when I have so many ways to Rahab. And Scarlet Lion can play heroes, and Victorious Being can get out a couple of my heroes. Being able to add Rahab into battle with a negate, it's a good move. It's a little bit more telegraphed now that people know about it, but if they can't stop it, they can't stop it. And then when they come into battle, being able to just immediately add a Rahab is also good. Ooh, let's see. Yawning on camera, sorry. Watching the Yankees lose last night. I really, really like having the silver gold. One in main deck, one in reserve. I love Angel of God. We'll get to that. I won't talk about all these cards, but negating an evil card, protecting Joshua Heroes from the next evil card played, and then it's CBP. Very, very good. I do think you can run, and I don't think people are doing it yet. You can run like a Buckler by the numbers type of deck with dominant support and just have this like big by the numbers where your enhancements work. You have CBP stuff and you have protection and dominance to back it up with battle extensions and Angel of God. Like, that's a whole nother type of deck. I haven't fully pieced it all together yet because I'm trying to make it fast, but it's a very old school style that I think made its way back. And maybe it's just silver. Like maybe it's just a full on silver rush deck. Um, but now you have enhancements and add to battles, which is really good. So I do think that's a thing. I love that Amazing Faith has the gold border because it kind of matches. Um, just a great card. Don't really need to talk about that. Joshua's Command, I love it. Love the art. Raphael, not the turtle, did the art for this without knowing it. He did it years and years ago. So you get the negate and discard an evil card. Very broad. And then if used by a Joshua hero, which is the entire offense minus Victorious Being, but doesn't matter. Everyone that can use this, hey, you could take an evil card from a deck. I love cards like this. I can take your enhancement, your character, your curse, or I can help myself out. I can negate and discard your evil card in battle, whether it's a character or an enhancement, give myself initiative, and then I can take something that I need for my next battle. I love this type of card that forces me to think how I want to use it. It's very good. Stuff like this, you'll see a little bit more of. We're just simply putting the word a or an in a card makes it really, really strong. I should probably do the article I've been wanting to do about the word a and an and the power level that you jump a power level with literally a letter or two. I think that would be a really cool article. Maybe that's something I remember for the next set. Okay, so Scarlet Line. You get the negate. You take up the 2 Joshua heroes from deck. CBN. Really strong, really thematic. Just a good card in general. Rahab just coming in and getting you 2 heroes is really good as well. And she's the only non-wilderness hero, I believe. That's Joshua. And that comes into play. You're going to see me build wilderness defense with Joshua with 40 years. Everything there. Can't believe I forgot the other cards. It's been so long, IR. I'm sorry. Fruit of Land, just really solid. I love these style of cards where if it's thematic, you get to reuse it, whether it's underdecked or exchanged or reserved. I really like it. Or if you look at the top and if it matches like the Brigade or Testament or Book, you get to exchange it. You'll see more of that stuff to where it benefits the deck builder, to where if you build within a theme, you fully maximize a card and it becomes very strong. So I love Fruit of the Land. It's just like House of Samuel and stuff, but I like it in enhancement. And then, of course, Teaching of Parables. So the offense, limit what the opponent can do and come out to a very quick start. It's very fast and takes away a couple of their best cards. This is what I think most people are wanting to hear about the defense. So I'll wait on that a little bit more. We don't need to talk about Storehouse or Promised Land. Just remember that you have an additional trigger on Promised Land. So if you're gold fishing and you're not remembering that, and this is where perfect practice makes perfect in execution. If you're not taking an Old Testament gold card from deck, if you're gold fishing, you're going to forget to do that in a game because you're not gold fishing correctly. You're not fully doing the card. And you'll see a lot of this where I've said before, I don't even read the whole ability of a card and I forget. Or if I'm practicing and a certain ability isn't relevant to me during my own goldfish, I'll forget. Jaden just talked about this when he was watching a game and Call to Prophecy came up and he was like, wait, the Emperor's protected. Oh, the very last sentence called to Prophecy regardless of protect abilities. We threw that on there because it's a dominant. We wanted it to work pretty much all the time and it's a little niche. Love the video Jaden posted of where Yeah, he's not using inheritance, but he's using cards that just really haven't seen any play, and he's using Queen T. I'll get into a separate segment about that. Um, so it's playing your cards while you're goldfishing them. Read the card, even if you've been playing a deck for 100 games in a row. Baboony, looking at you. If you've played the same deck, still read the cards. Um, a good example, my boy Jay, he don't watch my videos, so I tell him that on the phone. I'll probably talk to him today, where he was playing Emmanuel. Um, Emmanuel is one of my favorite people to play, one of my favorite people in general. And so he's playing Emmanuel. You know, I root for Emmanuel to beat me when we play. Like, I want to lose to him. And, like, he's just fun. And so Jay's playing Emmanuel, and Emmanuel plays an Old Testament. What was it? No, he played an enhancement on his Old Testament character with Golgotha out and granted it CBP, which is not how Golgotha works. And Jay missed it. Emmanuel did again. Wasn't trying to cheat. That's just Emmanuel was playing the card how he knew, and Jay also didn't catch it. So now you got both of them missing Golgotha, and Jay lost that game. E-Man. Jay lost the game at Nats. And E-Man had 2 great blocks on him. That card had been out for 2 years, so no sympathy from me. When you play your card, like when you have that down, you got to read it. So I was telling Jay, that's on you, man. Like, you got to know what the cards do, what your opponent's cards do, at all times. So especially those ongoing abilities. So when you play your deck, even if you've done it over and over, read the ability. Make sure you know what your card does. Looking at the time, I'm just yabbering on. We haven't even talked about Canaanites. So yeah, Storehouse is Storehouse. Know that this one protects your discard pile. So does Nazi, right, Jaden? Still losing sleep on that. Promised Land with Unity. So I do have Victorious Being. So if I just slam Victorious Being down, my Promised Land doesn't work. So that's also something that you just have to know the card. And guess what? If my opponent plays Promised Land and they have Victorious Being down, I need to be able to recognize that. Justin had a really good play at Nats against Hendricks, where Hendricks played like a board wipe. Or no, he that's what it was. I think he Goliathed and said, well, all your heroes are protected, so you can't bring in another because of Herod's Temple. And Justin said, all my human heroes, my gospel humans are, not my angels. And he presented an angel. It was a really good play. So reading that card, that just changes its gospel human heroes. Or gospel heroes, sorry, not even gospel humans, not heroes. Because it's Herod's Temple, right? So, I know what Shield does. I don't break Unity. Like, I'm not going to put a Amalekite slave down. So, don't break Unity. Wages of Sin should always be out of my hand. So I like Wages of Sin and Fruit of the Land because I can go back and forth. I can reuse these cards. Wages of Sin should never be in my hand because the Wages of Sin is death, and Queen T will kill me for that. So when I have Wages of Sin before I attack, I want to play it most of the time. I like having Wages of Sin in here. I have thought about, do I need Bearers of the Ark? Do I need Wages of Sin? Can I just take out 3 brigades from my deck? And if I do, what am I getting? I can do another Joshua hero here. I can do another enhancement here. Or I can just take it out and be 50. Take both out, add a card, be at 50. I think that's fine. I really am focused on getting these low brigade counts down. I think you're going to see more Queen T. And maybe it's next year. But maybe it's the year after that. But yeah, I think like with what Jaden showed, and I didn't want to spoil what Jaden showed. He talked about Jehoiakim at the Airbnb at Nationals, and we all just started laughing because it's like, here's a card, and I get to ban a Queen T. That's 16 cards from the top of your deck. If you haven't seen that, go check out his channel, Redemption with Jaden. Plug in, and that in itself, it's brown. I don't think you need any of the Gates of Jerusalem. I don't think you need any of that stuff. So now that Jaden showed the overall, like, his combo that he saw the second it came out, I'm going to show like a brown defense that just gets that out really quick. I don't know what I was saying. The New York Jets coach just got fired, so I was like, why is my phone lighting up? So I have no clue where I was. We know what Offering of Wrongdoing does. We do need to know if we're like not needing Offering of Wrongdoing, that it does prevent evil enhancements in territories. So I could just activate that. And then my Wages of Sin doesn't work. But if I want to stop any of their stuff, I need another one that stops good enhancements in territories. But and then Deceitful Possessions I went over. We know what these dominants do. Long Days, the Add to Battle, that also gets back a good OT enhancement, which is wild. And then Angel of God. I really like this. I know others don't, and there's, do you just use Angel Lord? Do you use just a different dominant in general here? Woman of Thebes is really, really good. This offense can get around defenses. I don't care about the characters. I should be able to blow them up. I can't stop some chump blocks. I need a Woes. I need an Angel of God. So that's why I have Angel of God in here. I also have 2 enhancements for it. Technically 3 with Captain Sword, but I really have 2 enhancements for it as well. So I think it's very good. I negate all their stuff pretty much. Like, I can get my Wilderness Heroes out so quickly, so I can negate a bunch of evil cards. I really want to stop that Woman of Thebes. I don't want that going off against me, because if you have not played a Woman of Thebes defense yet, you'll lose. I mean, that's just all it is. If you're not prepared for Woman of Thebes, you will lose, because I will have my Lost Soul out. I'll bounce Woman of Thebes. I'll block with Woman of Thebes. I'll bounce Woman of Thebes. I'll block with Woman of Thebes. You have to stop her. And you're like, okay, well, I'll just take Relative's Lost Soul. That's fine. I can still easily just take her, ban to her, give her. So I want to do another bounce. And maybe that's where Wrongdoing comes out, or maybe that's where we lose an enhancement, like Wages of Sin, or just a brigade like Wages of Sin or Bears of the Ark, and I bring in 20 shekels. So that's probably what will happen, because I need that one more bounce for my Canaanites. I'm just able to do what I want so far with the defense. Lost Souls. We're doing Covet just because if I go against Edomites and they banish Son of God, like that's big. Disoriented is being used by a lot of people, and there's just really, really good Lost Souls right now. I do think OT Unity is even stronger now. If I go against Moabites, I want to take their Subdued. That is a full-on block. I also think you could play Subdued with Meeks, and you play 1 Subdued and then 6 Meeks with Burial. I think that's potential. I'm not sure yet. You'll see a Soulhide deck on my channel soon via Jay. And I knew when I designed a certain card that it pushed into that archetype and enabled it. So I'm excited to show that. But I think this card's so awesome. Looks great. Love the borders. Love the artwork. So yeah, I think OT Unity is really, really good right now. So let's go to the defense. I don't even know how long it's been. It just comes right out. So of course we have Amalekite Slave, Mariner's Command, Foreign Wives as a Canaanite. So we had to add to battle from deck or reserve, with Foreign Wives being a Canaanite, and we could also throw it in their territory. We don't really want to though, so I don't really need to go over these two. She can go back in. So Adani, the thumbless guy, he can give himself to opponent's territory to add an evil Canaanite from deck or reserve to battle. So I can just give him to the opponent, and then concealed, I can go to concealed, and concealed can just take a card in their territory. Just like that. For the mirror, this is very good. Joshua Canaanite destroys the Joshua mirror because it can just take their best stuff. I can take your captain. I can take your Joshua. It goes to my hand, and then I can just keep them in my hand, or I can discard them. If they're not playing Victorious Being, they have a tough time getting back to mine. So I can start taking their main pieces. Because you want to stop their pieces that go to your offense. He can also takes a card in their territory. I can just take whatever I just gave you. So keep that in mind. I can give you a Canaanite. I can take a Canaanite. And then I can ban to my Canaanite. So if I took my Canaanite, it's now mine. We used your specifically here. That's how Canaanites were designed. Not originally, once we got there, of using the word your, because it's got to be owner and controller. So I have to own the card and control the card. If I give you a card, I'm the owner, you're the controller. If I take it back, I'm the owner and controller. So I can take my card back and then ban to my Canaanite. And Adoni also goes to reserve, which that's one way how he just enables a lot of this. We'll get to Zabul in a second, and Woman of Thebez. Crafty, look at a hand, exchange, phenomenal ability, real simple. Knowing who I need, whether it's Zabul or Woman, or do I keep going into the band and get out who I need. Abimelech, I may give an evil Canaanite from reserve, so that's one way to put 5 kings in territory and then take them back and ban to them. So King Abimelech can give you 5 kings, and then I can go to concealed. I can take 5 kings and I can ban to 5 kings. And then I also get to discard an artifact or fortress, and then I get to ban to mine. So I can go King Abimelech, give you 5 kings, go to concealed Canaanites, take 5 kings, ban to 5 kings. Jabin may ban to a Canaanite from reserve, so I can do a chain, and then I can just go straight to 5 kings from reserve. Or I can give another evil Canaanite to opponent's territory for the discard. Most of the time, this is just banned, go to 5 kings. I also like to give him away. Og, the Great and Powerful. He's not really doing much in this deck, which is surprising because of all the characters. So maybe he hits if I play Nativity and I get like a 7. I get to look at 7. I just get out all my stuff quick. But I figured in a really balanced deck, like a third of my cards being OT black, I'd be able to get it. Maybe it's less than a third actually. But either way, you get to look, take, band. That's really good. It's like similar to drawing. It is contingent, but he's exactly what I need. All the Canaanites are warriors -1, 2 in the main deck. I get to look, I get to take, and I get to ban to a Canaanite warrior. It's CVP. It's just good. Also, Arba being 12/12 bans to Og. I know, like, I was posted this and Renee was asking about it, and he was like, well, you don't really have a bunch of people to ban to. It's a warrior with strength 10 or greater, so there could be Herods on the other side that I can ban to. The main thing is I could end the band with Arba. and just negate evil cards or negate good cards. That's really good. Or Arba can band to Zabul, or Arba can band to Og, and I can just keep it going. Or I can band to Arba and negate good cards. It's also really good. I mean, a 12/12 that here you go, negate good cards is crazy. He was a late addition to the set, and I found artwork, which was funny because we were saying that's probably going to be difficult to find artwork. And I was like, oh, here you go. Just happened to find it quick. Gabe took the image and brought it in on the Giant. And that card was made in like minutes, and then edited it a little bit. But yeah, that was a really fun night. Zabul, I can band to him and draw 2. I can negate good cards, and I can give and I can discard if I'm in a pinch. Like, it's really hard to stop that. I can give and then convert you, but I would have to give 2, which isn't hard with my characters and relatives, to where I can just get them back, give them, negate. But it's hard to go. Like, if you're going to negate good cards, you're not going to be able to band. So it's really like, what do I want to do? Do I want to put multiple characters in battle and then convert your best one? Or do I just go Zabul, draw 2, convert your lone hero? That's insanely strong. Like, turn 1, you attack me with Matthew. I convert you. You attack me with Mary, and I have Zabul in hand. I convert you. So it's really, really good. And then if you have Bethlehem Stable out, I'm going to try to take your stable. If I play Nativity, I'm trying to take your stable turn 1, turn 2 as quickly as I can. If I go second and you have it down, I'm trying to get that stable. Zabul's a really good turn 1 blocker. And then just the absolute unit, Woman at Thebes, gives your evil Canaanite to opponent's territory to protect lost souls from rescue. Not Old Testament, just lost souls. And then you may take an OT black card from reserve. Most of the time I'm going to take Taunting. But yeah, she's really good. And then what we do is we can abuse Woman of Thebes. We can abuse Zabul. And y'all, you can make a Pot of Mana deck with Zabul, Woman of Thebes, and you can bring in like 6/0 cards with 5 kings. Like, that's a whole nother deck, and I'll show that. It's probably just white black, and you just 5 kings, Zabul, Woman of Thebes, and it's lone heroes, and you're just taking them out. Or it's Arba 12/12, and a lot of these are CBP. So Canaanites are crazy. You can do massive bans that end easily with the 5 kings. No problem there at all. I do have 3 cards that are 6/0 for 5 kings, to where I like to take one with Woman of Thebes, get myself set up. Storehouse, take 1. Wages of Sin can take 1. So I like to give myself in a good spot. I can block with 5 kings and just keep 5 kings in battle, give you another Canaanite, and then play Struck and Scattered. I should win after that. More than likely, you're not going to have anything to play, and you're going to have to play like a Child is Born to bring in like a Gabriel to negate it. That's really it. And if you don't have access to Child is Born, because I took your stable and it's in reserve, there's not much you can do. There's very few enhancements that the opponent is going to have at the right time that can get through 5 kings. So I have all 3 that are really good for 5 kings in reserve with ways to get them. And then everything in here is like a negate minus Wages of Sin. So I have an interrupt, a negate, a negate that's CBN. So a lot of just really strong banding and negating and limiting what the opponent can do. And I can do multiple things. I can convert your best hero in battle. I can protect lost souls, or I can restrict you from playing enhancements with a massive ban that just comes out. So yes, it is 4, 8, 9, 10 evil characters and 5 enhancements. But the offense and the defense, same pretty much the same amount of cards in favor of the offense because of an extra enhancement, an extra fortress, and the dominance. But other than that, it's a very balanced deck. Oh, I forgot about this guy. So 11. So characters and enhancements on good and evil are equal. I have one good artifact, one evil artifact, and then one extra fortress for good, and then good doms. It plays very fast and aggressive, but this is what's considered D-heavy. This is actually a balanced deck, and I'm able to go toe-to-toe with anything. So I really, really like this deck. I think it is elite. I think it's a top-tier deck. I think it's one of the best. And right now, people don't know how to play against this because it's Canaanites. So you are in the driver's seat. You're at advantage if you know how to play this. They don't. People simply aren't playing Canaanites right now. They're just playing Woman of Thebes and maybe Zabul. I think Canaanites are arguably the best defense in the game. Herods are extremely good, but they are super reliant on Temple. And you take out Temple, and Disoriented kills Herods because it's just another way to negate Temple. So I can take your Temple. I can negate your Temple. It's just good. I am thinking about taking out Woes and putting in another dominant. I'm not sure if I want to go defensive or not. I don't have any Choose a Blocker in here. I don't think I need it. I'm very focused on just punching in the mouth with Joshua and doing a massive Canaanite band. I will probably take out one card and go to, I don't know what. I'll probably take out one card and go to 50. I'll probably take out Woes and add in a defensive dominant. Probably Martyr. And I think that's good. Like I want to play in the Grand Prix with this thing. I really wanted to. I just knew I'm too busy lately. Now we go into new game. I'll show you real quick. I've been blabbering on. But we'll do this kind of quick. We would like to go second here. Really just depends. Without me having Lost Souls, unless they generate something. And if they do, I have an 11-7 draw 2, and a negate with an add to battle. So if they got to go first, I'm drawing 2. And I can give them Adoni to convert them in battle. Or I can just say, let's just tango turn 1. And I can negate what they have. I would have done Covet. Like I wouldn't have just passed over that. We can just throw that over there. And then I still have a negate if I need it. But having a 13-9 is pretty good turn 1. There's like I said, if it's a lone hero, I could have just given him a Adoni. Probably won that. So first we want to do is make that token. We can discard a card. Oh, that's tough. Like I don't have a hero. I hate losing my add to battles. And my negate. Like I don't have another negate. And I have all these characters. I have to get a hero. Okay, well, I wanted a gold hero, but beggars can't be choosers. So now we want to go ahead, and we don't have any upkeep triggers. We want to drop our add to battles. We can put down Lord's Army. I can put down some characters. I think I'm okay there. I don't want to put down Promised Land yet, but I can look at their hand, take something, attack with Lord's Army, and then if I'm blocked and I looked at their hand, so I know that by taking their best enhancement or character and then taking an OT gold card, that could win me the battle. Or I could go into like a Rahab, and Rahab can go to Scarlet Line, or I can go to a Stone Carriers. So it really depends on what I see. Now I'm sitting at 8. I'm going to try to use his Deceitful Possessions next turn and get a lot of drawing. So from here it's turn 2, and we can really start going to like get 5 kings out if we want. So from here, if they have an artifact or fortress, like I can put him out there, or I can go Amalekite Slave and go straight into a band or two. Probably do that first. And then look at their hand, exchange. And I know I have all my Canaanite warriors. So I can look at the top 2. I'll just give myself a number. Nothing there. I can ban to a Canaanite warrior. So from here, that's supposed to be my reserve. So from here, I can give discard an artifact or fortress, so I can discard a stable, and I can ban to my Canaanite. So right now this is under their control, and then I can give this card to go to deck or reserve, and I can go to reserve and go to Lot's Wife, and I can go to deck, and I have Arba, so I can just go Arba to Zabul if I wanted to. Or I can go to Concealed as well. So I can go Concealed, and I can bring back 5 kings and put him in battle. So this depends on if I have numbers. If I have numbers, I can take 5 kings and I can ban to 5 kings. Or I can go Arba and go to Zabul and go from there. So if I go to Zabul, I get a draw 4. So not bad. However, I have a lot of negates here. And add to battles. But what I'm going to do is do something different. Go to Concealed. I'm going to take my 5 kings. I'm going to band to my 5 kings. And I'm going to give Concealed. I'm going to give 5 kings away. I still get the draw 1. And I'm going to restrict. We're okay with putting this down for now. And then I'm going to use Deceitful Possession. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. Playing enhancements, like it's already there, doesn't mean activating. It means I can't play them. I already played Iron Chariots, so I do get the negate. I get to draw 2. And then I get the draw 2 off Zabul, and I can give an Evil Canaanite to their territory to convert. I don't feel like I need to do that. I have an add to battle here and an add to battle here, and they're restricted from playing. So I have a massive band. They're restricted. And that was turn 2. I have my Lost Soul out that I want. I need to do my token. No upkeeps. And then we can kind of drop Son of God, Second Coming, get that hand down. And now we have we have everything at our disposal. We can discard and snag a Wilderness Hero. We feel good at this point. We can take a Joshua card from reserve. We can ban 2 Stone Carriers. Or what we should have done, actually, I'm sorry. Should have drawn 1. Gone to El Capitan, put some heroes down. That's the correct play, I believe. Go to El Capitan. I was trying to Stone Carriers into Captain. We can just go to him now, get the draw 3, and just go straight to a band. And we can continue to band. We could take a Fortress. We can band to a Joshua Human. Got a few things we could do. Just depends on what we want. We could take Storehouse. We could look at their hand as well. So that's our turn 2 attack. Is that correct? Is that turn 2? Because that's crazy. If I did all that in turn 2. Yeah, I put down Lord's Army. I went quote unquote second. Put down Lord's Army. Blocked with Zabul. Turn 2, I blocked with all these guys. Maybe it's turn 3. I don't know. Chat, what turn am I on? So now I have a bunch. Whether I need to negate, whether I need to get the battle extension and still add, and I would get Long Day with an enhancement. Any of that works. And we still get Promised Land. See, I goldfished and forgot. We could put Victorious Being down. We don't need Promised Land anymore. We're good. I don't have a lot of protection, so I am susceptible. I probably put Scarlet Line in reserve. And that in reserve. Oh, whoops. Discard Scarlet Line. And I like having all that evil, but I'm just going to keep spamming 5 Kings. So I don't need all these good enhancements though. So there you go. That's what the deck does. I'll do one more block. I don't even really need to use Woman of Thebes, but I can. What's really nice is I can just shield Woman of Thebes in. That is very, very good. I can Deceitful Possessions, and I can Murder Command into a Malachite Slave into Woman of Thebes. So it is very, very good. If I want to do the full band, I got Arba, Og, Reveal the Owner, we'll say 3 this time. Nothing there. I never get anything. Band to a Canaanite Warrior. And I can give Lot's Wife to discard an artifact or fortress. I can ban to a Canaanite. And I can take a card in their territory. Like, do I want to take Lot's Wife and then ban to 5 Kings? I can take 5 Kings. It doesn't matter. I can do a lot. So, or I can take a different card in their territory and then I can shield them in as well. So it's really just depends on whatever I want to do. If I want to make the band bigger, then I can band to, I can take Lot's wife, and then Lot's wife can band to 5 kings. But I like to just take back my 5 kings to where I can just give 5 kings back. So I get the draw 1, and I get the give. I'm good there. I like to also do a Woman of Thebes block, where I can start getting out those 6-0s for 5 kings as well. So they'd be restricted, and I still have a Foreign Wives add, a 3 woes, and a shield. So you got to beat a 12, 12, 11, 11, 9, 7, 3, 6, where I can add to battle Zabul and still have a negate on top of it that gets to draw 3 if you manage to play a 6 or X or 7. If you play an enhancement over 5 strength, strength 6 or more, you get to play. And then I can still just add this guy to battle and negate it. Really, really strong. Yeah, that's it. I get, and now if you attack me, I can just bounce my guy too. So I'll probably bring in 20 shekels, do a couple tweaks, very minimal, 3-card tweaks. I have a big band with Glory, big band on offense and defense with Glory. So I think this is one of the best decks in the game. I think it is top tier. It's fast, it sets up, it gets resources, it stops the opponent from doing things on both sides, and it has a defense that can block these offenses right now that the opponent doesn't really see coming and they can't do a lot about. So, hope you enjoy it. Tell me what you like and don't like about it, and we will talk then. So, thanks y'all. Welcome back to the channel.